Hi, my name is Nicole.
Hi, my name is Papa.
Hi, my name is Michael.
And welcome to the Dope Student Podcast. And who do we have here today?
I'm Councilmember Katherine Gilmore Richardson from Philadelphia.
Okay, so today we're going to be asking some questions about your career. Can you tell us about your journey to becoming the youngest African-American woman ever elected to Philadelphia City Council? What motivated you to pursue a career in public service?
Wow. Well, first, thank you, Mr. Jarrett, and to all the students who were here for this opportunity. Again, I'm Katherine Gilmore Richardson. I'm currently serving my first term as a member of Philadelphia City Council. And really, I had a long, windy road into public service, which included being a teacher. But I was born and raised here in the city of Philadelphia. I was adopted from birth, and I attended all of our best public schools. When I graduated from high school, I went to college, and I became a teacher. And I taught at Overbrook High School, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. But all the way through, I was always working and volunteering in Philadelphia City Council. And so when an opportunity presented itself for me to work full-time in council, I started working full-time in council back in 2008. I don't even think you all were born at that point. But at any rate, I started working full-time, and I've served in every position you can have as a staffer in Philadelphia City Council except communication. So when my boss decided not to seek re-election, I decided to run because I knew that I wanted to ensure that we are creating a city that will leave a better city for the next generation and for young people like my kids. And so what I've tried to do since being a member of council is focus on all of the education and quality of life issues that I know will make a difference for each and every one of you. So that's the long story short.
As the council member at large for the city of Philadelphia, what are your top priorities for addressing the ongoing recovery for COVID-19 in the city?
Right. So first, when COVID-19 first came, we had just been inaugurated to council back in January. So we were only in City Hall for 2 months, and then COVID arrives. And so we would send out daily updates each and every day and just try to help people with food insecurity during the pandemic and help people get vaccinated. Now that the emergency has been lifted by the federal government, now we just ensure that we provide continued information, but also helping people with career and job opportunities as they move forward, because a lot of people have to reskill and upskill to get into new careers since the pandemic, because a lot of the jobs we saw before the pandemic have changed or people have moved. And so we're really focusing on reskilling folks so they can get into different careers and upskilling them so they can make more money now after the pandemic, particularly with rising costs and with inflation.
How do you plan to achieve this, and what impact do you hope it will have on the community?
So for me, when we help people reskill and upskill, I look at it as a career opportunity that can help them and their families really grow and thrive in our city, and that's what we want to see. So the outcome is I hope more people get into wonderful careers that they really love and are able to get into positions of leadership and responsibility in their careers so that they can make more money and just really help to take care of their families and their communities.
Supporting local, small, minority-owned businesses is crucial for your economic growth. Could you share some of your initiatives and priorities you've implemented to help these businesses thrive?
Right, and so during the pandemic, we found that a lot of businesses were going out of business. They couldn't sustain, and so we worked with the city and the Commerce Department to put like $13 million into a fund to help our small and local businesses sustain throughout the pandemic, not knowing what was next. But I've also worked with my colleagues to ensure that we can help reduce costs for business and help reduce tax burdens so that we can help more of our small, local, and particularly our minority businesses in the city. And so we're going to continue to do that work. We were able to have slight reductions in what we call, and this is like big picture stuff, our wage tax. And that's basically when you work and you get a check, you have to pay your wage tax. And so we have a slight reduction again this year in the wage tax. And we're going to continue to look at how we create an advantageous business environment in the city of Philadelphia.
Your legislative achievements are commendable, such as promoting transparency and accountability in the city government. Can you elaborate on the importance of these measures and their effects on the city?
Right. So for me, when I look at legislative opportunities and bills that we can introduce, I always think about the community. I always think about the people that live in Philly. I was born and raised here in the city. I love Philadelphia. Attended all public schools my whole life. I only went to college about 45 minutes from here, so I'm like a Philly girl through and through. And every legislative opportunity we have, I always think about how it impacts, the city in its totality and all of our residents and citizens. And so we're going to continue to work on education initiatives, particularly around career and technical education, because for me, I learned when I was a teacher at Overbrook that not all of our young people will go to college, but they should be college or career ready at graduation. And so I'm going to continue to focus on that. We're going to continue to focus on figuring out how we get people on pathways to good jobs in city government, because we have over 4,000 openings of city jobs right now that we need people to get into. And then also ensuring that we have transparency and accountability in the work that we do, that we're setting up our city budget in a way that is helpful to programs like this and others across the city. And finally, that we work on quality of life issues that people see in their communities.
How can we get more CTE programs in the area, such as Strawberry Mansion, Northwest Philadelphia, and Blaine Middle School?
Ooh, now you're talking my language, because career and technical education is so important. We really need our young people to get involved with careers in the trades. And for me, what I've been focusing on is figuring out how we continue to fund these programs, and not just to be able to have teachers, wonderful teachers like Mr. Jarrett. And I have to give you a shout out, because you are just one of the most awesome CTE teachers I have ever met.
I don't like this much attention. I'm
I'm
about to know.
just telling you. And just the work that you do, just around showcasing what you all are doing via social media and really drumming up the interest in the program and having middle years exposure for CTE, that is so important for young people. That's why we did the apprenticeship guidebook, because we wanted to do the same thing. So I got to give you a shout out, but we're going to continue to work with the district to fund these programs. And so the Strawberry Mansion program, that was new. Okay, so we just graduated our first cohort this year of that particular program, but we want to continue to increase that kind of work so we can get more young people involved in careers in the trades, because we know with the trades, a lot of folks will be retiring soon. We need to get more young people and have more diversity in the trades as well, particularly with our young women. And so we're going to continue to fund those programs. I work with the district. I talk to the teachers. I figure out what we can do. They're now telling me, look, the $6,000 is not enough to buy materials and supplies for 1 year for all the students to practice for the NOCD examination. And so we're looking at and talking to the district on how we can increase that funding, how we can provide partnerships with you all, with corporate entities to fund some of the materials and supplies that you need in your classrooms, and just helping you prepare for the overall NOCD examination once you get to high school. And so that work is going to continue. We do that through the work of the apprenticeship guidebook, working with labor. And I got to give a shout out to the building trades and to labor and the carpenters. They've just been awesome partners in going into schools talking about careers in the trades. We just had a signing day with the carpenters. A young person from Ben Franklin High School signed with the carpenters right out of high school. That's the type of attention we want to continue to bring to the CTE work.
Creating Philadelphia's first apprenticeship guidebook is a remarkable initiative. How do you see the guidebook benefiting the community and promoting career opportunities for young individuals?
So we've created the first apprenticeship guidebook in the history of the city of Philadelphia, and it's really a compilation of all the pre-apprentice and apprenticeship programs in the city. And we've given out over 5,000 paper copies of the apprenticeship guidebook, and now we have it online as well. And I think it's an important first step to really help with additional exposure. So you all are lucky to get middle school exposure, but the apprenticeship guidebook is for folks who may want to upskill. We have a middle-aged African-American woman who got into the CART program, and she was working in higher education. I mean, it's that kind of work that we want to do to help people really get into a promising career that's family supporting and sustaining, and that helps them in their lives. So we're going to continue that work, and we love the apprenticeship guidebook and hope that you all can use it to your benefit as well.
Do you believe our CTA programs should reflect the different unions we have in the Philadelphia School District?
Absolutely, and I love all of our unions. I'm a product of union labor. When my grandparents first came here from South Carolina in the 50s, my grandfather was a part of The labor is Local 332. And so I think it's important that we partner with our unions who are doing this work on an everyday, daily basis to really help us get more young people involved and see that they too can have a career in the trades, no matter what it is, whether it's electricity, whether it's just a laborer, whether it's just being a carpenter, whether it's just doing finishing trades work, painting work, whatever it may be. Just to be involved and engaged in the union and see people who do the work on an everyday basis is important.
Education is a critical area of focus for you, particularly improving public schools and career and technical education. Can you share some of the changes or improvements you advocated for and their potential impact on students' futures?
Yeah, so one bill I'm really, really proud of, I introduced when I first came to council, was providing a 5-point preference for any of our graduates of our career and technical education programs where they apply for city employment. And so this is the first year that we have a 5-point preference for city employment for all of the graduates of our CTE program. So that work I'm really, really proud of.
How can students currently enrolled in this program get into CTE high schools?
So I think what we can do is ensure that you have a list of all the programs available, and we will help you apply to any of the programs you're interested in, but also we want you to get involved with the pre-apprenticeship programs while you're in high school. So that'll be important as well. So we want you all to get the apprenticeship guidebook.
What advice would you give a middle school student looking to pursue politics?
Get involved and engage now. Start volunteering on local campaigns, volunteer with your local party, volunteer on election day. Get to know the people who represent you, stay in touch with them, go to all their programs and all of their events.
Having served in various roles for Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown, how has your experience shaped your approach to leadership and decision-making as a council member at large?
I think that was the best experience I could have ever had working for former Councilmember Blondell Reynolds Brown. Like me, she was also a teacher. She did a lot of great, important work for young people and around education. And just watching her work all of those years really helped me to be a better council member, particularly because we were in the middle of COVID. And if I didn't have that experience working as a staffer in council, I would have not known what to do. So I'm just really grateful and thankful for the opportunity to work with her since I was 15 years old. 15, I started in city council.
Thank you for watching another episode on the Dope Student Podcast. Bye.
Thank you.